Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome. And welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, today on the Ryan Awesome Show, I'll be talking about NXT for March 24th, 2021. Now, overall, man, this is a good show, man. I love this show. I love the contract signing between Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. I love the cruiserweight championship stipulation, which I'm gonna talk about when we get through the show. I love the announcement of that too. You know, they building up towards Takeover. They're building up towards Takeover, Stand and Deliver. So I like that. They're doing a great job at building it up. And I will say this though, this episode of NXT was better than last week's. Last week's episode, it was a disaster. It was not good. But this week's episode of NXT, much better show. And so yeah, this is the NXT review on the Ryan Awesome Show for March 24th, 2021. And yeah, man, if you haven't done this already, man, if you haven't done this, man, hit the thumbs up, man. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you'll be the first ones to know when my next video will come out, because I'm here each and every single week. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. And so yeah, we started off the show with a tag team match, and it was with the women. And so it was Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus Zoey Stark and Io Shirai, who is the NXT Women's Champion. Now this is a really good match, really good match. We had a hurricanrana to Gonzalez from Stark, and then we had Gonzalez. She had hit Stark with a huge clothesline. We had a drop kick to the side of Dakota Kai's head from Shirai, and then they were going back and forth. We had back and forth with pinfalls between Io Shirai and Dakota Kai. We had a sliding clothesline to Dakota Kai from Stark. And we had kicks to Gonzalez from Zoey Stark. And then we had an assisted go-to kick to Zoey Stark from Dakota Kai. And we had a pump kick to Stark from Dakota Kai. And then we had a power slam to Zoey Stark from Gonzalez, and she kicked out. We had a corner boot to Zoey Stark from Io Shirai. I mean, not from Io Shirai, from Dakota Kai. And so we had a hot tag to Io Shirai. She took out Dakota Kai. And she had took out Gonzalez with a double foot stomp. And then we had Io Shirai. She had hit a 619 to not Dakota Kai. She had a 619 to Raquel Gonzalez. And we had a missile drop kick to Gonzalez from Io. And we had a springboard drop kick from Zoey Stark to Gonzalez. And then Stark, as Stark she had dove onto Gonzalez outside the ring with a diving crossbody over the top rope. And we had an outside moonsault to Gonzalez from Io. And so, yeah. And then right after that, we had Gonzalez. She had hit a finishing move, that one-handed power bomb to Zoey Stark. She did not go for the cover. Well, with her, she couldn't go for the cover. She was all tired and stuff, so she couldn't go for the cover. And so, yeah. And then Gonzalez, she had picked up Zoey Stark again. She had picked her up again. And she was about to hit her finishing move again, but Io Shirai, she had got on the ring apron. And so this was my favorite part of the match. We had Gonzalez, while she was lifting up Zoey Stark, she had walked towards Io Shirai and just kicked her. She had kicked her right off the ring apron while holding up Zoey Stark. So that was really cool. And then she went on ahead and dropped her with that one-handed power bomb, and that was it. And so yeah, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, they won the match. And, right after the match, we had Gonzalez and Io Shirai. They were staring face to face because, they're challengers at TakeOver. And so, yeah, they were face to face. And so Dakota Kai, she was distracting Io. And so Io ended up taking out Dakota Kai. And so right from behind Gonzalez, she had attacked Io Shirai. She had gave him a big boot. And then, they were fighting outside the ring. And then Dakota Kai, not Dakota Kai, I keep getting them mixed up. I keep calling Raquel Gonzalez Dakota Kai. Raquel Gonzalez, they was fighting near the commentary table. And so Raquel Gonzalez, she had lifted up Io Shirai for her one-handed powerbomb, and she powerbombed her on the announce table. The table didn't even break. The table did not break. And so yeah, that was brutal. That was a nasty spot right there. And so Io Shirai, you heard her, man. She was writhing in pain. You heard her screaming and stuff like that. That had to hurt, dude. That had to hurt. And so yeah, that was it with that. Great, very great match to start off the show, man. And so yeah, right after that we had Kyle O'Reilly. You know, he was in a dojo, his training center, I guess, and he was training with some guys. And so yeah, they were testing out some moves and stuff like that. And so Adam Cole, he had barged in, uninvited. He had barged in, and so he went right after O'Reilly. He had went right after O'Reilly. And so the other guys, they were breaking these two up. You know, they were yelling and screaming at each other. They were beating each other up. And so you know, they were separating each other. And so that was it with that. So it was a pull apart, you know, fight. And so yeah, right after that, speaking of Kyle O'Reilly, we had McKenzie Mitchell. She interviews Kyle O'Reilly. And so this is what Mr. O'Reilly had to say about, you know, what happened with him and Adam Cole at that dojo. And so this is what happened.
Pretty intense between you and Adam, and Mr. Regal says he'll have a solution tonight. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, McKenzie,
Roderick Strong interrupts.
listen, I know what you have going on tonight, but after everything Adam's done to us, we need to go out there and kick his ass. Well, I appreciate that. I really do, man, but there is no more us. This is between me and him. You know what? Both of you and Adam, can go to hell. Does that answer your question?
And that was it. That was it with Kyle O'Reilly. You know, Roderick Strong, he wanted to help Kyle O'Reilly, you know, beat up Adam Cole. And so O'Reilly, he was like, no, man, I don't need your help. And so Strong, he was upset about it. And, you know, he told him, you know what? You and Adam Cole, y'all can go straight to hell. You know, since you don't want my help, you can go to hell. And so, yeah, that was it with that. And so right after that, we had LA Knight. He spoke. And so this is what LA Knight had to say.
Let me talk to you. Tonight's the night, yeah. Why is that? Because Bronson decided, well, he wanted to go ahead and go into my locker room. He wanted to invade my personal space and put his hands on my property. Guess what? Tonight, these hands, they got to go on you. And it ain't going to be a very pleasant time, Bronny. I'll put it to you like this. I told you a few weeks ago, whose game is it? It's LA Knight's game. You're going to find out because the ruler is here. And tonight, brother, just like that, you're going to find out it's LA Knight's game. And that's not an insult. That is just a fact of life. Yeah.
And that was it from LA Knight. And so right after that, we had Jordan Devlin, the NXT Cruiserweight Champion, and he spoke. And so this is what Mr. Devlin had to say.
You know, I'm not sure why I'm even sitting in this chair right now. Because I know my match tonight doesn't even need promote. I know this is one of the biggest matches in NXT television history. I mean, look what you're dealing with here. We are talking about a world-class professional athlete plying his trade at the top of his game all over the world. Japan, Europe, America, universally respected. And tonight he's gone one-on-one with Kushida. Kushida, I respect you. I go as even far to say that I like you. But brother, tonight you've got yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time. Because I'm going to make an example out of you for Santos Escobar right before NXT TakeOver. Stand and deliver.
And that was it. That was it with Jordan Devlin. That's what he had to say about Kushida, who he was going to fight tonight, later on that night. And so, yeah, that was it with that. And, you know, I have more to say about the Kushida and Jordan Devlin match when we get through the show. And so, yeah. So right after that, we had a match. It was Bronson Reed, the Colossal, Bronson Reed versus LA Knight. And so yeah, we had a shoulder tackle to Knight. We had a huge back body drop to Knight. And then we had Bronson Reed hit a beautiful power slam to Knight. And then Bronson Reed he chopped Knight. And then we had Knight, he was trying to fight back, but it wasn't working. And so yeah, he did ended up taking advantage of a over a Reed by using the ring rope as a weapon. And so yeah, he was targeting the leg and stuff, and he did a springboard shoulder tackle to Reed, and we had a knee to the side of Reed's head, and we had a jumping neck breaker to Reed, and he kicked out, and we had a corner splash to Knight, so Bronson Reed is fighting back, and we had they were going back and forth, counter after counter, and we had a spinning choke slam to Knight, and then we had a tsunami. So Reed he tried to go for a tsunami, his top rope splash, and so Knight he had stopped Reed from delivering the move. And so, yeah, at this point we had Knight, to end the match, we had Knight, Bronson Reed, he was still at the top rope. And so Knight, he was running towards Bronson Reed trying to take him off of the top rope. And so, yeah, he ran over to Bronson Reed and he jumped to the top rope. And then Bronson Reed just pushed him out of the way. He pushed him out of the way and Knight had landed on the mat. And so Bronson Reed, he had jumped and delivered his tsunami, that body splash, that frog splash, whatever you want to call it. He had hit it on Knight to win the match. So that was it, man. Really good match. And so, yeah. So yeah, with this match, at first I was surprised that they gave the win to Reed because LA Knight he had his, he just debuted, so I thought they were gonna push Knight, but they gave Bronson Reed the win. And so yeah, man, that was it with that match. And so yeah, right after that we had. So yeah, they had announced on the show that the NXT Tag Team titles were vacated, because Danny Burch he got hurt last week in that that match that never should have happened last week with Finn Balor and Karrion Kross versus Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan for the NXT Tag Team titles. So Danny Burch he was out, so they had to vacate the titles. And so yeah, they ended up making a match. It was a triple threat. It was a triple threat tag team match for the NXT Tag Team titles on the Takeover show. And so yeah, and that was it. I think they announced they announced the Grizzly Young Veterans, MSK, and Legado del Fantasma in that triple threat match. And so yeah, that was it. And so right after that we had Karrion Kross with Scarlett in his corner versus Oney Lorcan, former NXT Tag Team Champion, who had to vacate his title. And so yeah, this is good too. This is a good match. Great back and forth with these two. And so Lorcan, he tried to go right after Kross because of what he did to Danny Burch. And so yeah, so Oney Lorcan he got some offense in, and then Kross he had ended up fighting back. He had threw Lorcan into the plexiglass, and then he suplexed Lorcan on the ground outside the ring. And we had chops to Kross, so Lorcan is fighting back. We had a drop kick to Kross right in his face, and then we had exploder suplex. We had an exploder suplex to Lorcan. And then, Kross, he was talking trash to Oney Lorcan. He was talking about Danny Burch. He was bragging about taking him out and injuring him. And so that fired up Oney Lorcan. And so Oney Lorcan, he had this angry look on his face, and he started hitting Kross with uppercuts and stuff. And then, yeah, Lorcan, he was targeting Kross's arm, which is a smart move because he have a history with shoulder issues. And so, yeah, and then Oney Lorcan, he was slapping Kross across the face. He was slapping him across the face and giving him chops. And we had a running European uppercut to Kross. And then Kross, he had ended up fighting back. He had a big boot to Lorcan. And he hit Lorcan with a Saito suplex. And then to end the match, we had Kross, he had hit his running forearm in the back of Oney Lorcan's head to win the match. So Karrion Kross, he wins the match. And so yeah, right after the match, we had Karrion Kross. He had spoke. He grabbed the microphone and he spoke, and this is what he had to say.
I'd like to take a moment right now to address the actions of Mr. Balor from last week. Your actions had malice, intention, you know what? I appreciate that. Because I realized I was giving respect to a man who didn't appreciate it. You didn't deserve it. And despite the fact that you are a champion, when I held your little neck in my hand, it felt just like anybody else's. Because you see, Mr. Balor, when the fuse is lit, there's no stopping what's coming next, which is me.
Oh my God, man. Ah, man, I'm telling you, man, I freaking hate it, man. When these people interrupt with their theme music, man, just come out to the ring, man. Just come out to the ring. Like, dude, this dude attacked you last week and you want to come out to your theme music. Just walk out to the ring and talk. So Finn Balor, he came out to his ring entrance, his theme music. It took him a while to walk out to the ring. Dude, just walk to the ring. Like, I hate this stuff, man.
Last week, Kross, you took your best shot, and the Prince is still standing.
Stepped over Oney Lorcan's body. Finn Balor did.
But what you really done last week was you showed me your weakness. You see, when a man's young, he fights with emotion. Uncontrollable emotion. Some people call it demons, but really, it's just emotion. It wasn't until I learned to control my emotion, to be cold, that I became untouchable in this ring. You still fight with emotion. Everything you do is a reaction. And in those moments, you're sloppy. In those moments, you're vulnerable. At TakeOver Stand and Deliver, I'm gonna push you to the point where you only have two options. One, you surprise everyone and you master your emotions. Or two, what I believe will happen is a repeat of last week and your emotions master you. And when they do, I'm gonna drag you into the cold, deep water. And with no emotion, I'm gonna drown you.
And that was it. That was it from Finn Balor. And so, yeah, so it's going to be Kross versus Balor. It's going to be the main event. And they did tell us which the night that was going to main event, which I'm going to talk about later. And so, yeah. Man, this needs to be the Demon. We need to see Demon Balor, man. We need to see Demon Balor versus Kross. But I don't think they're going to go with Demon Balor versus Kross. They need to, man. They need to. And so, yeah, that was it with that. And so, yeah, right after that, we had Mr. Regal, William Regal. He had spoke, and so this is what he said. He made a match, and so it was...
It's time to announce who will face Johnny Gargano for the NXT North American Championship at TakeOver Stand and Deliver. Seeing that we have one of the most incredibly talented locker rooms in NXT history, I would like to extend that opportunity to as many people as possible. In order to determine who those 6 superstars are, next week on NXT, there will be a 12-man battle royal. The final 6 participants in that battle royal will qualify for the Gauntlet's Eliminator. The order in which those final 6 superstars are eliminated from the battle royal will determine their entry order in the Eliminator. 2 men will start in the eliminator, and a fresh competitor will enter every 3 minutes. Pinfall or submissions will determine the eliminations until 1 man remains. The winner of that match will go on to face Johnny Gargano for the NXT North American Championship on night 2 of TakeOver Stand and Deliver. Best wishes to all the competitors in next week's Battle Royal.
So yeah, that was it with that. So it's the 12-man battle royal next week, and the final 6 will be in the next week's. I mean, not next week. They're gonna be in the 6-man eliminator match. And so the 12 people that's in the battle royal is Bronson Reed, Dexter Lumis, Cameron Grimes, Roderick Strong, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Pete Dunne, Jake Atlas, Tyler Rust, LA Knight, Austin Theory, Leon Ruff, and Kushida. So those are the 12 men that's in that battle royal next week. Now, who making in the final 6? I'm going with Reed, Bronson Reed, Dexter Lumis, of course, is gonna be in the final 6. Pete Dunne, so that's 3, 1, 2, 3. Pete Dunne. You could put LA Knight in there. Probably Theory. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Roderick Strong. And so yeah, that was it with that. So yeah, right after that we had Kushida. He spoke about Jordan Devlin, and so this is what he had to say about Jordan Devlin. He spoke in Japanese. So I'm gonna translate it. So Jordan Devlin, you're an incredible competitor. You're incredible competitor, and your performance on NXT UK have been very impressive. That's why I answer your open challenge. For me, it's all about the competition, and you're one of the best. For the past year, I've been taking down every NXT superstar that has stepped in the ring with me. Tonight, you're going to find out what happens when you face the best technical wrestler in NXT, Kushida. And so, yeah, that was it from Kushida. And so, yeah, and right after that, we had a match. It was Drake Maverick versus Volta, the NXT United Kingdom champion, with Imperium in his corner, Fabian Aichner and Marcell Barthel, no Alexander Wolf. And so, man, this is a squash match. This is an absolute squash match, man. An absolute squash match. So yeah, we had Maverick. He was trying to fight Walter, and it wasn't working at all. It was not working. And so yeah, Walter, he ended up slamming down. He slammed down Maverick, and he ended up powerbombing Maverick. And so he had locked in a single leg Boston Crab to Maverick. And so referee had called for the bell. Drake Maverick didn't even tap out. He passed out. And so Walter had won by referee stoppage. And so, yeah, right after that, we had, Imperium that was celebrating and stuff. And then Tommaso Ciampa had came out and interrupted. And so this is what Ciampa had to say.
A couple of weeks ago, I said that you intrigued me. I misspoke. That intrigues me. So let's just cut to the chase, shall we? You know what I want. They know what I want. So what do you say, big man? Walter Ciampa, NXT TakeOver, Stand and Deliver for that NXT UK Championship.
He said no. Oh, they said no too. Uh-oh. And Ciampa ended up attacking Imperium. So yeah, he ended up attacking Imperium. And so Imperium ended up ganging up on Ciampa. And so, yeah, they had ripped off Walter. He had ripped off his shirt. And then that necklace that Tommaso Ciampa wears to the ring, Walter had ripped it off. He had ripped it off. And so that angered Tommaso Ciampa. So, because that necklace mean a lot to Ciampa. And so, yeah, he ripped it off. And so Walter, I'm telling you, man, right? I'm telling you this right now. He chopped the living hell. He chopped the living hell out of Tommaso Ciampa. He chopped this dude hard, man. Harder than last week, man. Harder than last week. Like, dude, it sounded like a freaking gunshot, man. This dude has the most powerful chops in professional wrestling. Walter does. He chopped the living hell out of Tommaso Ciampa, man. And so yeah, and that was it. You know, they stood over Tommaso Ciampa and they left the ring. And so yeah, so it's gonna be Tommaso Ciampa versus Walter for the NXT United Kingdom Championship at NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver. Yes, that'll probably be the match of the night on whichever night it was that will be on. And so yeah, yeah. When Tommaso Ciampa he had challenged Walter for the championship. Walter he said no. He said no. I would have said no too. I would have been like, dude, what have you done? What have you done to gain a championship match? You done nothing. But you done nothing but team with Timothy Thatcher. That's all you done. You didn't do nothing, Ciampa. I would have said no too. And I love Tommaso Ciampa too, dude. Don't get me wrong. I love Tommaso Ciampa, but what exactly has he done to earn a championship match? And so yeah, I would have said no too if I was Walter. So yeah, now that match it'll be a great match, man. On whatever night it is, it'll be a great match, man. And so yeah, so right after that we had Pete Dunne. He talked about the North American Championship, and so this is what he had to say.
Best technical wrestler in the world, and I dared anybody step up and prove me wrong, and nobody did. So next week, I'm going to show the locker room firsthand. I'm going to dominate the Battle Royal, and I'm going to put myself one step closer to holding gold in NXT again. At TakeOver Stand and Deliver, the Bruiserweight becomes the North American champion.
And that was it from Pete Dunne. Now Pete Dunne, he will make it in the final six. He will make it in the final six, and he will be in that eliminator match. So yeah, and so yeah, right after that we had Robert Stone and Aliyah of the Robert Stone brand with Mercedes Martinez in their backstage. And so this is what they had to say.
To be a champion. Jessie Kamea got injured training, so now Aliyah doesn't have a tag partner. We want you to team with her in the NXT Women's Tag Team title match tonight. Let's make history in the Robert Stone brand.
Cut to the chase. Is that right? New deal.
What do you mean?
This is half. I expect the other half after the match.
The other? Yeah, yes. Love that. I was thinking the same thing, Mercedes. That's that you deserve that. And you got a tag team partner. I don't have any more money.
And so yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, Jessie Kamea, Aliyah's former tag team partner, she got injured, she got hurt. And so yeah, they were supposed to go against Shotzi and Ember. Last week they had made the challenge to Ember and Shotzi to challenge next week, or this week, for the NXT Tag Team Women's titles. And so Jessica Mel, she got hurt, and so they had got Mercedes Martinez to take over for Jessica Mea. And so Mercedes Martinez, she was a part of the Robert Stone brand, and then she had got called up to the main roster as a part of Retribution, which was a failure. And she left Retribution, came back to NXT. When she left NXT, I think Robert Stone, the last match that she had in NXT before she went to the main roster was that cage match, right, with Rhea Ripley, and she lost to Rhea Ripley. And so she had got, Robert Stone had ended up putting a restraining order on her or something like that, and they just sent her to the main roster, and now she's back a part of the Robert Stone brand. And so yeah, that was it with that. And so right after that, we had Johnny Gargano. He's backstage, and he was not happy about the announcement that Mr. Regal made about the Battle Royal and the Eliminator tournament. Not the Eliminator tournament, the Eliminator match at TakeOver. So this is what happened.
You know what? Come with me. You're going to want to see this.
Oh, didn't even knock on the door.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
I don't know, but you always wear that championship everywhere.
Yeah, I'm the champ. I wear it everywhere. But explain this to me. Okay, so next week there's gonna be a 12-man battle royal.
Yes.
And then the final 6 guys advance to a gauntlet eliminator. Night 1, take over, stand and deliver.
Yes.
And then the winner of that faces me 24 hours later on night 2 for my NXT North American Championship.
Yes.
Mr. Regal, with all due respect, are you cuckoo bananas? What are we doing here? How is that fair to me? I'm only gonna know who my opponent is for 24 hours. I need a game plan. I need to strategize. I need to watch tape. What am I gonna do? Stay up all night? Come on. Johnny Takeover deserves better. Come on, work with me here.
Johnny,
let's work it out.
If you're Johnny Takeover, then this shouldn't be a problem to you. So between now and then, what I suggest you do is study the competitors.
You got some homework to do, Johnny.
What about that for a novel idea?
It's got like 1 million guys. I'm not shutting your door.
Oh my God. And that was it. That was it with that. So Johnny Gargano, he was not happy, and you know, cause the person that wins the eliminated gauntlet match on night 1 faces him on night 2, the next night, and so Johnny, he don't know who's gonna win. He don't know who's gonna win. So that's why you got to do a lot of videotaping, watching. You got to watch all the tapes. He got a lot of studying to do. So you got a homework. You got to study a lot. You got some homework to do. And so yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, right after that we had the NXT Tag Team the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship match. And it was Aliyah and Mercedes Martinez with Robert Stone in their corner versus Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon, who are the NXT Women's Tag Team the champions. And I really didn't care about this match. This is the only match on the show I didn't care about because Aliyah and her former tag team partner did not deserve a championship match. They ain't done nothing to gain a championship match. So that's why I didn't care about it. And the fact that Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart gave them a title shot made them, I understand they're fighting champions and stuff, but you got to stand your ground, man. You got to say no sometimes, man. Like, dude, you done nothing. You done nothing to gain a championship match, so why should I give you a championship match? And so yeah, first off, we had the heels. They took control of the match. We had Aliyah. She had kicked Moon off the ring apron, and we had an assisted facebuster to Shotzi from Martinez and Aliyah. And we had a hot tag to Ember Moon. She took out Martinez and Aliyah with forearms. And we had a powerbomb to Aliyah from Moon. And then Martinez, she had broke up the pin. And to end the match, we had the Eclipse to Aliyah to win the match. And so Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart have won the match and are still the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. So, yeah, very predictable. Shotzi and Ember Moon, they were not going to lose those titles to Aliyah and Mercedes Martinez. So, yeah, that was it with that. And so right after that, we had Roderick Strong. He was backstage. And then Cameron Grimes had interrupted Roderick Strong. Because, Roderick Strong, he was pissed off earlier that night. And so Cameron Grimes had came out and interrupted Roderick Strong. And so this is what happened.
Roderick Strong. Tough couple weeks, man.
Tell you the truth, man, I think I'm taking it just as bad as you are. Undisputed Era, you guys have done so much for this business. It'd be a shame for it to end like this. Matter of fact, Roddy, it doesn't have to end like this. Just think, all the intellectual property that the Undisputed Era has, if you let Cameron Grimes buy that, I can take it to new heights, Roddy. I mean, think of, yeah, let's get excited, Roddy. I mean, think of it, all the new t-shirts, the new logo, we get new socks, we get new armbands. I mean, listen to this. Cameron Grimes, Undisputed, maybe not that one. How about this? To the moon.
Oh. There you go, to the moon right there.
That's not how you do business around here, Roddy. I had a
And that was it. Roderick Strong punched this guy right in his face. Yeah, I would have done the same thing. I would have done the same thing if somebody, got in my face and I was mad. If I was pissed off and somebody got in my face, I would have done the same thing that Roderick Strong did. And so, yeah, that was it with that. And so right after that, we had Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon. They're backstage and they're celebrating. And so they got interrupted by Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. And so this is what happened.
will do it again. And every time, we are going to show you the way to the fire pit.
You know what? Next time, we're gonna do it our way, on our time, and on our stage. Excuse me.
Oh, well, excuse us.
Pants. Okay.
Bye.
Don't be jealous.
And that was it. That was it with that. And so we're gonna see Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell vie for the NXT Women's Tag Team titles next. And so yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, right after that we had a match, and it was Jordan Devlin, the NXT Cruiserweight Champion, versus Kushida. And so with this match, it was a great match and everything, but I did not know why this match happened. You know, they booked themselves into a corner with this match because, you know, you have Kushida in that 12-man Battle Royal next week for the NXT North American Championship, and he most likely going to end up in the final 6. And so I don't know why. I don't know why they had him lose to Devlin. But then again, you can't have Devlin lose either because he's a champion. So Jordan Devlin, he has to win. So both of these guys, they needed to win. But one of them had to lose, and that was Kushida. And so yeah, that was it with this. You know, well, first let me go over the match first. So we had a Uranage to Kushida, followed up by a standing moonsault to Kushida, and he kicked out. We had a hip toss into a drop kick to Jordan Devlin. And we had Kushida, he targets Devlin's arm. Of course he did. We had a springboard moonsault to Kushida outside of the ring. A beautiful sight. And so we had an enziguri to Devlin. We had a springboard back elbow to Devlin. And then we had Kushida, he had kicked Devlin in the arm. And we had Kushida, he tried to lock in his hoverboard lock. And so Devlin, he had got on a rope. And so we had a springboard cutter to Kushida, and Kushida kicked out. And, you know, they were fighting at the top rope at one point. And then Devlin, he got distracted by Legado del Fantasma. So Raquel Wild, Raul Mendoza, and Santos Escobar, the Cruiserweight champion, had came out, and they distracted Jordan Devlin. And so Kushida, he had locked in the hoverboard lock. And so, yeah. And so Jordan Devlin, he was fighting to the rope. He had got his foot on the rope. And so Mendoza and Wild, they walked to the ring. And so they grabbed Jordan Devlin and dragged him out of the ring. And so they ended up cornering Jordan Devlin. And so, yeah, Jordan Devlin, he ended up rolling out of the way. They was about to attack Jordan Devlin. So Devlin, he ended up dodging them. And so he got back into the ring. And so, yeah, Kushida, you know, Jordan Devlin, he had rolled up Kushida. He had rolled up Kushida for the win. And that was it. So Jordan Devlin, he had won the match. And so right after the match, we had Kushida, he had took out Mendoza. He had took out Mendoza and Wild. And so, yeah, he took them out. And so he ended up diving on them off the stage. And so that was it with Kushida and Mendoza and Wild. And so you had Jordan Devlin and Escobar, they were face-to-face. And so they were standing face-to-face holding their championships up in the air. And all of a sudden, man, you heard Shawn Michaels' theme music. So Shawn Michaels, HBK, the Heartbreak Kid, he had came out with his theme music. And so, yeah, he came out, went under the ring, grabbed the ladder, put it in the ring. And so, yeah, he just slid the ladder in the ring. So that's signifying that for the Cruiserweight Championship, Santos Escobar and Jordan Devlin is going to be a ladder match. And so for the Unified Cruiserweight the Unified Cruiserweight Championships in a ladder match. And so it was appropriate. It was appropriate for Shawn Michaels to come out because, you know, Shawn Michaels, if you remember, it was Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon in a ladder match at WrestleMania 10 in 1994. And so, yeah, it was for the Unified Intercontinental Championship. And so whoever won that match, they would have been the real Intercontinental Champion. So this time, whoever wins, they'll be the real Cruiserweight Champion. And so, yeah, that was it with that. Absolutely excited about this match, man. Jordan Devlin versus Santos Escobar for the Cruiserweight Championship in a ladder match, man, for the Unified Cruiserweight Championship. The winner is the real Cruiserweight Champion. Oh, my God, yes. And, dude, I'm telling you, man, it's about time. It is about time that the Cruiserweights got an opportunity, man, shine. You know, because the Cruiserweights, man, in the past, the Cruiserweights, they were never treated fair. they were never treated fair. The cruiserweights were treated like a joke back in the day in WWE. They were treated like a joke. And so, yeah, now man, the cruiserweights now, man, they finally getting an opportunity. I love that. And so yeah, that was it with that. So it's gonna be a ladder match. And so yeah, right after that, man, we had Shawn Michaels. You know, he was walking into the back, and you saw Adam Cole. You saw Adam Cole. He was about to come out. And so you had Shawn Michaels and Adam Cole. They were staring face to face. That was a beautiful sight, man. Seeing Adam Cole and Shawn Michaels face to face. That was a beautiful sight, man. It's like Shawn Michaels looking into in a mirror, man. It's like Shawn Michaels looking into a mirror. Like when he stared at Adam Cole, it looked like he was looking in the mirror, because Adam Cole, you know, he's always been compared to Shawn Michaels. He's like a Shawn Michaels. He could be the next coming of Shawn Michaels, and so that's why I say he was looking in the mirror when he saw Adam Cole. And so yeah, I thought that was really cool, seeing Adam Cole and Shawn Michaels face to face. And so yeah, right after that, speaking of Adam Cole, we had a contract signing, and it was Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. And so yeah, this is the last thing that we saw on the show. And so this is what happened. And so they were talking, and so yeah, there was out. Mr. Regal was there, and you had a bunch of security guards. They were out there. You know, there was, trying to make sure nothing goes. They're trying to make sure nothing breaks out. And so yeah, this is what happened.
Gentlemen, thank you for joining me here tonight. Now
Kyle
it's
O'Reilly
obvious
and Adam Cole.
that the situation between the two of you has got out of control, has reached boiling point. In fact, I've got the bloody police involved. And I will not have you embarrass this company that so many people have worked so hard to create. What I have here is a solution to this situation. This is a contract for Kyle O'Reilly to face Adam Cole in the co-main event of the second night of NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. Now, Kyle, you're still not medically cleared. This match can only take place when you have both signed this contract and you acknowledge that NXT is not accountable for anything that happens to both of you.
Grabs the pin, getting ready to sign, but he grabs the microphone.
Regal, I want to tell you a little story. I want you to imagine that you were born blind, that you could not see, and then one day you wake up and you can see everything. You know what we call that, Regal? We call that a revelation. And I had one. I realized that I didn't need the Undisputed Era anymore. As a matter of fact, the Undisputed Era was holding me back. And you know who made me realize that, Regal? It was you, Kyle. I mean, for God's sakes, I bought into this BS that maybe the Undisputed Era was about brotherhood. Maybe that's what it was all about. It was never about that, Kyle. I sat back and I watched you challenge for the NXT Championship not once, but twice. Then I watched you fail not once, but twice. And what do? You try to befriend Finn Balor? You tried to have Finn Balor join the Undisputed Era. Have you lost your mind? And then it all made sense to me. It all made sense because deep down in your core, you are nothing more than a lapdog. You are a sidekick. You are someone comfortable being on the sidelines, and that is not me. That is not Adam Cole. I am the greatest NXT champion there has ever been, and I will never sit on the sidelines because I am nothing like you. You lost sight. You lost sight of what this was. You lost sight of what the Undisputed Era was. It was never about friendship. It was never about a brotherhood. It was about being the best. And damn it, you are looking at the best. Honestly, Kyle, all we've been through, you should be thanking me. Because when you look yourself in the mirror, do you actually think you would have made it to WWE, let alone been successful, if it wasn't for me?
Oh, wow.
Do you think the Undisputed Era works without Adam Cole? I'm the one who led the charge. I'm the one who main evented. I'm the one with the legendary title run. I'm the one who sold the t-shirts. Undisputed Era without Adam Cole is nothing. And you, Kyle O'Reilly, are nothing. I cannot wait to fight you at TakeOver Stand and Deliver. And you want to know why? It's because I already know who wins. The entire world already knows who wins. The only one that doesn't is the pathetic lapdog sitting across this table.
Oh, man, you got to say something back, man, Kyle. And so Adam Cole, he signs the contract. Kyle, he grabs the pin. Now, before he signed it, he grabs the microphone as well.
We've known each other for a long time. At least I thought we did. When we first got here, we didn't care who we stepped over to succeed. 4 hungry pitbulls determined to take a spot at the top of the card where we belonged. You could say we were shocking the system, but we were making a statement, and we didn't give a damn about whose expense or who was footing the bill. You do realize we will forever have heat with the general manager, not to mention an entire locker room full of guys. I grew up, man. I started to take some accountability for my actions. You look a man in the eyes before you kick his teeth in. No more sneak attacks, no more 4-on-1 beatdowns, no more BS.
No more BS.
And since coming here to this place, we've become better wrestlers, we became better fighters, we became champions, we became stars. But only one of us became a better person, a better human being. Adam Cole is just the same asshole that walked into this place 3.5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And I keep forcing myself to really, truly believe that the last 3.5 years meant nothing. That the Undisputed Era meant nothing. I'm forcing myself to really, truly believe this, because if any part of me thinks for a second that one day you and I could be cool again, maybe one day you and I could go for a beer, I won't do what is necessary to put you down for good. I sold my soul for the Undisputed Era, and I want it back. You are an insecure prick that used his best friends, and that is so cold, and somehow I'm not surprised in the least. But let me tell you something, Cole. Not one single person is gonna be surprised. Look at me in the eyes! Not one single person will be surprised after I beat you into a pulp. And for the first time in damn near 4 years, I sleep like a baby.
Attaboy, Kyle. Go ahead, sign that death warrant.
Oh, wow.
Sign it.
He signed it. He said, sign your death warrant. Oh, it threw the pin at him. Security guards holding him back again. And that was it, man. That was it with that. Man, I absolutely love the promo, man, from Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, man. You know, Adam Cole especially, man, you know, laying it in and Kyle O'Reilly saying that, you know, the Undisputed Era was nothing without Adam Cole. And I absolutely agree with that, man. Absolutely agree with that, because the Undisputed Era, it was always about Adam Cole. Adam Cole was the star of the Undisputed Era. And, yeah, you know, Kyle O'Reilly, he did a great job, too, with his promo. You know, the delivery. Both of these guys did a great job, man, with their delivery. And so, yeah, when you call Adam Cole a prick and stuff like that, I was like, yeah, that's Adam Cole. Adam Cole always been a prick. And so, yeah, that was it with that. And so, yeah, that was the end. That was the end of NXT, man. End of NXT, really, really good show, man. Better than last week's show. And, you know, with the show, with the NXT TakeOver, and next week's show is going to be, well, first off, on night one, it's going to be for the NXT Tag Team Championships. It's going to be MSK, that's Nash Carter, and Wesley versus the grizzled young veterans, that's Zach Gibson and James Drake, versus Legado del Fantasma, that's Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza, and that's on night one. And we have the Gauntlet Eliminator Battle Royal next week. That's going to be Bronson Reed, Dexter Lumis, Cameron Grimes, Roderick Strong, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Pete Dunne, Jake Atlas, Tyler Rust, LA Knight, Austin Theory, Leon Ruff, and Kushida. And also, we have Io Shirai versus Raquel Gonzalez for the NXT Women's Championship. And then on night one, we have Balta, the NXT United Kingdom Champion, versus Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT UK Championship. And so, yeah, the Gauntlet Eliminator match is going to be on night one. Whoever come out in the final six will be in the Gauntlet Eliminator match, and that's night one. So, night one is going to be, so yeah, they got Io Shirai versus Raquel Gonzalez. They said that was the main event. And then you have Tommaso Ciampa versus Walter for the NXT UK Championship, and you have the NXT Tag Team Triple Threat match, and you have the number one contenders Gauntlet match Eliminator, and that's night one. Night two, you have Finn Balor, the NXT Champion, versus Karrion Kross with Scarlett in his corner for the NXT Championship, and that's the main event. And then you have Santos Escobar with Legado del Fantasma in his corner versus Jordan Devlin, the Irish Ace, and the winner will be the real Cruiserweight Champion in a ladder match. And then we have Johnny Gargano, the NXT North American Champion, versus the winner of the Eliminator match. So that's on night two. So the winner of that Gauntlet Eliminator match will go to night two to fight Johnny Gargano. And so, yeah, that's all the matches. And they said next week is going to be Roderick Strong versus Cameron Grimes. How in the hell will that happen when they have the Battle Royal? And so, yeah, and that was it with that. That's it with the show, the card for next week. Not next week, the card for TakeOver and some of the matches for next week. And so, yeah, man, that was it with this review. That was it with the review for NXT for March 24th, 2021. And if you like this video, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you'll be the first ones to know when my next video will come out. Follow me on Twitter at Ryan Awesome Show. And comment down below. Tell me how you felt about this episode of NXT. And share this video, man. Share this video with each and every single person that you come across. And if you missed last week's episode of NXT, the video is going to be right up here in this corner. It's going to be right up here. And once again, guys, thank you for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you, man. And I'll see you guys on Monday. I'll see you guys on Monday. I have an announcement. First off, I forgot about the Pro Wrestling Crate for February, and I've just gotten mine for March. So on Monday, I'm going to be recording it on Sunday, but on Monday, you guys will see an unboxing for the Pro Wrestling Crate. It's going to be for February and March, so we're going to have 2 unboxings and 1 video for Monday for the Pro Wrestling Crate. So don't miss that. And so, yeah, man, that's it with that. So I'll see you guys on Monday. And yeah, man. And once again, guys, thank you for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Take care, stay safe, and that's that.